I hope you all had a good night's sleep. Yesterday was our day. You tolerated us quite bravely yesterday. And today we give the opportunity for you people to come up on the dais and we will bear it. Dr. G.V.G. Krishnamurthy ji, sir, shall we start the proceedings? I request Shri Ish Hada to come on the stage, please. Grandmaster Dinesh Mitra, Justice Sagal, Gauhar Nawab Sahab, Mr. Gauhar Nawab, Shahul Hamid, the delegates who are interested to speak should kindly send a note to the chairperson, Dr. G.V.G. Krishnamurthy. He will be calling one by one and then you will be given the time. And please see to it that there are so many speakers, there should be time restraint. It should not take more than 5-7 minutes per person. Who would like to be the first speaker? Dr. Anil Mandal. Dr. Anil Mandal is from the United States of America.
Very much, Gurinder Singh, all the distinguished person on the dais. Difficult for me to say everybody's name. And dear non-resident Indians, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for the opportunity to deliver a short story of my life, which is success. Success is a journey, not a destination. Swami Vivekananda went to the West from a sheer sense of frustration. He was nobody in the eyes of prominent people in India. He was considered a beggar. He then decided to go to the Parliament of Religion in Chicago, USA. He thought if he succeeded in the West, people back home would listen to him. Even proved to that Swamiji was right. Because he succeeded in the West, people at home gave him a hero's welcome when he returned to India. It was in India then, West knew nothing. His presentation on Hinduism, early 19th century, was a revelation to the people of the West. Vivekananda stated that have faith in yourself. He stated further that you would not mind to assimilate new ideas and thoughts, but you would never imitate anybody. Imitation was a kind of slavery to him, and he hated it. Honor of Hinderton Award to me today accompanied my previous offers as head of the Department of Nephrology at Sanjay Gandhi Postgraduate Institute in Lucknow and All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, and numerous invitations in the past to lecture on my work in kidney disease, high blood pressure and diabetes for the Congress held in India and different universities in India, as well as visiting professor of Benares Hindu University in the past and currently, have inspired me to look back into the revelation of my own life. I have found that my revelation of my own life resembled that of Swami Vivekananda. I have always stood firm on my faith and principles. The goal of my life is to help others. I do not imitate others. I listen to others only I have made the decision of my own. No one can change my mind. My work is a rock. My word is a rock. My life rests on truth, whole truth, and nothing but truth. I believe that truth is an inevitable way of my life. Like Vivekananda, I faced inescapable obstacles in the progress of my life as a young doctor and a scientist in Calcutta because of the marriage of my own choice. I did that. I felt that who you love cannot be determined by others. Furthermore, since my word is a rock, and my commitment to the girl that I shall marry her would not be altered by my parents, brothers, and other members that I was associated with. I had a life of all or none love. If I broke my word for her, I broke for all. My peers, professors, family, all united against me. I could make no progress. I became standstill. My brilliant career record as a medical student of Calcutta, which was unbreakable for years, crumbled. I lost my ground, suffered helplessness and hopelessness, humiliation by my peers. I felt despair and as a result cried for days or weeks. I became isolated from my peers and families, but like Vivekananda, I felt there is hope and help. Astrologer gave me that hope. I assured by them that the situation was temporary. A glorious future is ahead of me. Hope lies not in India, but abroad in a country far away from India, which is America. Astrologer told me that my misery then will only be remembered in the future as a keen trait, which is absolutely true. By sheer desperation, I wrote to someone in Chicago, 1966, who immediately wrote me back, offered me a position in Chicago to pursue my career. I accepted and came to Chicago in 1967. The sun, which was eclipsed in my life for several years, began to shine again soon, slowly. Today, that I stand here among you as a Hinderton awardee is the result of my hard work, faith, positive attitude, commitment to my duty, renunciation, respect for others, and most importantly, persistence. A Chinese phrase is nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. I am resolute, which is the fundamental of my success. I stated at the outset that success is a journey, not a destination. Therefore, I keep on going steadfastly with the hope that one day I may consider that I have found a destination. Remember, hope is the energy that arouses the mind to meet the challenges which I every day. Today is almost gone. I want tomorrow to be better than today. Hope is that extra push that keeps us going. I want you to know that India is in my heart and will be in my heart. I love India and the United States of America. Thank you all.
Distinguished Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we had a very successful inauguration of the 28th International Congress of NRIs. Well, today it's my privilege to chair this session and give an opportunity for all those who want to express their views regarding the problems NRIs are facing in their respective countries, regarding what this country, the government and this institution can do to ensure that the problems are met, assistance is given, as it is being done in the past. In the past, I remember for the last many years, late Harbhajan Singh used to tell me that the suggestions given by NRIs are noted, they are conveyed to the government and proper authorities, so that in the years to come, better facilities, better opportunities can be given to NRIs, their families, in education institutions, in investment processes, and various other allied issues in regard to relationship of NRIs with the mother country. Well, on the dais, Mr. Gaur Mohammed is sitting, Mr. Ishanandi is sitting, Mr. Hamid is sitting, Mr. Ganesh Mitra, they are sitting. So in the beginning, I want to give an opportunity to those people who want to express their own views thereafter, to those who send chits expressing their desire to participate in today's deliberations. You want to speak? Yes, Mr. Ganesh Mitra.
Somebody should come to pick up the slips. There's no one whom we can give.
That's a we do that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Right? Tell someone to pick up the slips. Thank you very much.
Great family of our Mother India. I wish you all a year full of the light of the eternal Mother, Bhavani Bharati, showering the grace of peaceful unity. This year is marked with the force of global conscious change to transform the destiny of humanity. However great the material change that humanity needs for its growth may be, even the most efficient political, social and environment economy cannot have successful results if there is no inner change in man's consciousness. Our country, India, is a great laboratory on our planet, where research into inner alchemy has been the top priority. India is the pioneer country which worked hard to find the method and develop the scientific process of self-education, through which we become conscious of our inner potential energy, which we learn to protect eternally, externally, for any professional use. We are the heirs of our ancestors, the rishis, the scientific sages. The base of their pioneering work was to find how to make a divine man out of all polluted substances, all unconscious stuff, hatred, which are to be transformed into luminous products for a positive creative purpose of our human society. This is a pure science of consciousness to advance humanity towards its luminous destiny with freedom. This laboratory of conscious education was founded at an unknown date at the foot of the highest peak, shining with the light of the Almighty Sun. the giver of life on our planet, at a time when lands had no names. It was at the dawn of our human civilization, when we were in one human family struggling to survive nature's resistances and educate ourselves to learn to hunt without hatred, for nourishment and for protecting our family from storms, forest fires, rain and floods, and ferocious animals. The man of the early days invented the god of space, wind, fire, and water, and the god of the fertile soil, while we cultivate our grains to feed our young and old, and give them clothes and comfort. The invention of these gods is the Sanatana Dharma of India, the religion of the world. But what is the destiny of our humanity? This was one of the major preoccupations of our forefathers. Many lives were successfully devoted to do this research into this extremely delicate and important subject for the daily life of our human family. Till today, we have not reached the point where we are able to find a solution together in spite of international summits and organizations like the United Nations or Nobel Prize Academy. After staying for 40 years in the West, where I helped all those who loved me and asked for help and invited me to transmit the grace of India's martial force of wisdom all over the world, I am going to open in the holy place of Haridwar the Gateway of God, an education center for conscious inner development through Gati Chi, which means speed consciousness in Sanskrit. It is a friendly tonic which can be added to any form of education and discipline. My teaching is a product of India. I am bringing India forward. This teaching will help to reach beyond techniques. There is no doubt that humanity is well advanced in high technology. I was asked to give a lecture on this subject in front of the International Confederation of Police and Security Experts in Spain. I regularly visit the New York Police Academy for the development of security awareness of their tactical training unit. The recent Mumbai blast is a very sad point for India's security training. Naturally, I am waiting for a call to serve my motherland. India is the country of compassion. India is the garden of the flowers, of cultures, blooming in the infinite oneness eternal. When I say India, I do not include our unconscious political and religious separation. I am talking of subliminal aspects of India, which is directly linked with the soul of humanity, the divine in man, Nara Narayana. Oh, Mother India, I love you. Om Shanti Tathastu.
Thank you very much, Ganesh Mitraji. Anybody else would like to speak? Yes, may I request Mr. Ishananda afterwards? Mr. Sahul Hamid Appu, Saudi Arabia, would now express his views. Thank you.
Sure, I feel a little shorter so that I can avoid hiding behind the lectern. Fellow dignitaries, NRI delegates, ladies and gentlemen, lovely children, good evening. I joined in Saudi Arabia. I started my career 20 years back. When I joined in Saudi Arabia, there were Indians, laborers. Not more than laborers categories were recognized. Now, Indians are dominating Saudi Arabia in the place of general managers, presidents, and directors level. The reason I can see is only one simple word is hardworking. I will tell you a small story. An ordinary wage earning labor was every day walking from his house to his office because he was working as a janitor, as an office boy. One day he found a coin lying on the ground, and coin had a hole in the center. In our culture, we believe that if you find the coin which has a hole in it, you will become a millionaire. That is basically an ethics that we have. He took the coin, he put in his pocket, feeling that he would one day become a very rich man. Every day he used to touch his coin in his coat pocket, go to his office. Having the determination he would one day become a rich man. Second day he used to come to his house, every day he used to touch his coin, make sure that the coin was inside, and then started growing. He became a manager, he became a vice president, he bought a Rolls-Royce car, he bought a Mercedes, and he became a millionaire. And one day he was taking a rest along with his wife, and he asked his wife, "Can you please bring me that old coat where the coin was inside?" When he picked up the coin was entirely different from what he put. He asked his wife, "What happened to the coin which I put inside the pocket?" She said, "Second day when I was washing your clothes, I was just removing the dust, the coin fell down on the street, somebody else took it." So ladies and gentlemen, the reason why it was not the coin which made him a rich man, it was his hard work. It was his determination, it was his commitment. This is what Indians have been doing in Saudi Arabia, that people really showed his hard work. They were talked yesterday by dignitaries that build bridges, bring global partnership. But I would like to add here, build bridges, break barriers. We still have a few barriers I would like to point out here. For example, if you all start a car manufacturing company here, nobody would like to buy a car. If I start a car manufacturing company, would you like to buy a car? You won't take that risk. If I bring Toyota, if I bring Tata, if I bring Maruti and I have a joint venture and I bring out a car, how many of you would like to enjoy the car? Most of us would like to enjoy the car because we have a global partnership. So this is the reason why that we will have to really concentrate in the global partnership. Now this is the build a bridge. What is the break barriers? We are still lacking of quality. For example, I would like to compare an Indian and an European. If you have a glass, you break the glass. We Indians will consider that we broke the glass. But I would like to tell you how European will look into it. When I was holding a glass, it was about 200 grams. I dropped the glass, it traveled 1.5 meters. It broke into 370 pieces. And I appointed a person to clean, the man-hour was about 1 hour to clean all these pieces. And I found 275 pieces, still 75 pieces were missing. They will record it. When they get the broken pieces, they will say that it's only 300 grams. Where are the 75 grams? They will record it. They will ensure that other people will follow that procedure. That's what we are lacking. We are lacking of quality. We just look a matter of perception. The glass broke. But European American, the glass broke. Why the glass broke? What was the reason that the glass broke? When the glass was there, what was the weight? When the glass broke, what was the weight? And how much pieces were broke? And they will keep it and they will record it. Ladies and gentlemen, let us build bridges, break barriers. I am sure that we will continue onwards and ever upwards. I am sure that NRI Welfare Association will be a solid pillar behind us, to protect us, to cherish us, and they will be within us, to bless us all the time whenever we go and we are. Mr. Chairman.
I request Mr. P.K. Ghosh.
Mr. Chairman, distinguished panelists, guests, fellow delegates, ladies and gentlemen, I'll try and keep my speech very short to allow greater speakers than me who are waiting to deliver their speeches. A very good morning to all of you. I'm indeed greatly honored and privileged to say a few words on this great occasion of the 28th International Congress of NRIs, both as a delegate and as a representative of NRIs from my country, Singapore. Let me first of all thank Mr. Gurinder Singh and his family for the great sacrifices they are making to uphold his late father, Mr. Harban Singh's contribution to the Indian community, both at home and abroad. It was my pleasure to attend the 26th Congress together with my wife in 2007. And we are indeed fortunate to be here once again to join this great fraternity of fellowship. While the current noble ideas and fellowship theme of the Congress are excellent and very encouraging, I would like to suggest that the organizers of the future Congress consider two additional categories of award as follows. One, specifically for young entrepreneurs in the field of IT, sports, and music from among NRIs all over the world. And two, for ladies who are making great contribution and dominating the boardrooms of several companies across the globe. In conclusion, let me place on record our congratulations to all the organizers, volunteers, and participating delegates when they receive their awards today and for making the 28th Congress a great success. May this enjoyable and enriching fellowship continue to attract the attention of all NRIs from all parts of the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and best wishes.
Thank you, Mr. P.K. Ghosh. I got a large number of people who expressed their desire to speak. I propose to give an opportunity for all of them this morning. Therefore, I request the speakers to announce the country to which they belong. Okay, some of them have not written that when they step. I invite Professor Dr. T.S. Rukmani.
Can you see me? Okay. I think I'd rather speak from there. Is that okay? Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I am T.S. Rukmani from Canada, Montreal. I'm the chair in Hindu Studies, and that's what I do. So just as a gentleman from Saudi mentioned about, I think it's important for us to pay attention to our shortcomings as well and where we can improve ourselves. I've been living in Canada. Canada is a secular country. So is the UK, so is the USA, and yet we have religious departments in all these countries. What I find lacking in India, whenever we have academic conferences and we start talking about the kind of religious concepts and the way we teach religion, I have always to tell my colleagues that please remember there is no academic religious teaching in India. And that's a very big lacune, and I have a feeling that somehow or the other, it's not as if secularism cannot accommodate religious education in our institutions. A way must be found, because the kind of things which are happening, to my mind, it looks as if there is a lack of understanding of religion in the proper sense, and unless we are able to fill that lacune, the world may not be such a very pleasant place to live in. So that's one of my it comes from the heart, and I hope we as the NRI, as well as the organization, is able to do something regarding that. And I do not want to take too much of the time, but one more suggestion I would like. I like the idea, Mr. Ghosh, who mentioned about women are making great strides, and it is but proper that there is some kind of a recognition. And if I may be permitted to sound an autobiographical note, you will all be very glad to know that mine is the only chair in Hindu studies in the entire world. So it's the others who are doing recognition. Thank you very much, and I don't want to take much of your time. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Rukmani. In regard to the sentiment which you expressed, I want to make a comment. All over the world, for centuries and centuries, from the birth of civilization, a human being is proud of his or her mother. In India, we say Matru Deva Bhava. If your mother is a Hindu, if my mother is a Hindu, I am proud I am a Hindu. If my mother is a Muslim, I am proud I am a Muslim. If my mother is a Sikh, I am proud I am a Sikh. If my mother is a Christian, I am proud I am a Christian. If my mother is an Indian, I am proud I am Indian. So is the case with everybody. If mother is a German, he is proud he is German. So when you talk about secularism, it does not mean irreligiousness. A Hindu must have the right to go to the temple, must have the freedom to pray. A Muslim must have the right to go to a mosque and must have the freedom to do namaz. A Christian must have the right to go to the church and do the mass. A Sikh must have the right to go to Gurdwara and bow down before Guru Granth Sahib. This is what is secularism. I must thank Dr. Rukmani for having said that every country should respect all religions. Well, having said this, as I said, time is short. I propose to give an opportunity for everyone who wants to speak. Therefore, kindly be as brief as possible and stick to the point, the issues you want to make. Well, the next thing I would like to do is, as I said, I would like to give an opportunity for those who are sitting in the dais. After completing one or two people, we will give the opportunity for the persons who are with their names here. Satish, do you want to speak? Mr. Satish Batra from Germany. He is one of the leading industries in Germany for India. Mr. Satish Batra.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman. Dignitaries at the dais, ladies and gentlemen, and dear friends. I think this is the right platform to have an exchange of thoughts, and I'm very happy that Dr. Krishnamurthy is chairing this session and he's giving the opportunity to all the NRIs, PIOs to express their desires, to express their problems. As I said yesterday, we've been going through this exercise all these years, ever since the NRI Welfare Society has been established, and we achieved also many results out of this. We fought with the government at the time. We got into the NRI Commissioner. Later on, the body was recognized. The government of India started with Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. But at the same time, the real platform which we have been exercising here has been giving fruitful results to NRIs. We had registered problems on the education sector. There was times it was very difficult for NRIs to establish their institutes over here, and we did it in a very good way that today NRIs do not face any problem. We know Nawab Sahib, he's very much involved in the hospitals. This is also one of the sector which India needs badly. And at a time, about 10, 12 years back, NRIs used to come to India. They wanted to do something, but some or other they got discouraged. It could be probably some of the formalities to be completed, or the environment as such. Today, the environment in India has also changed. India has a new face. As I entered into Germany in 1961, 48 years ago, India was nowhere on the map for the Europeans or for the Americans. They were just treating Indians well, snake charmers, slums and whatnot. It was very discouraging for me at the time. I used to be very careful to identify myself completely so that it could be recognized. And in the other part of the world, you've got to be better than the locals, otherwise you're not being looked up. Plus, if you have some negative environments with a negative image, it gets into more of difficulties. I used to admire the Iranis at the time, early 60s. Shah of Iran was investing a lot of money, modernizing Iran, and people used to be after Iran, and nobody thought of India. Luckily, through liberalization, Dr. Manmohan Singh, he was the pioneer in this, and I must say, he was bold enough to get into liberalization of the policies, and it was a hard time to start with, but it took off very nicely, and today we have all the possibilities to have a freedom in India and also in some other countries. As you know, the dual nationality has been already accepted, and I cannot forget, Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. We were together in Lisbon at the EU summit, and I told him, I said, look here, this PIO is very expansive. You can't generalize that all NRIs are very rich people, because after all, there are also people who are laborers, who are working hard. There are probably academic people who are also into their profession but not earning so much of money. So I told him, I said, PIO has to be a common invitation to India that all NRIs are in a position to afford it. And that's how at that time the fees for PIO was later on reduced, and then we got into another concept. PIO was just for certain time, and we said it has to be more on the general side so that children of the NRIs, PIOs, they feel at home in India, they don't have to worry about the visas, and once if you don't have to get into any formality, You feel that you are coming home, and this was the invitation which Government of India has recognized through NRI Welfare Society. I personally feel it was a great achievement, and there are many other achievements. We will have the whole day with us. We'll have a lot of exchange of thoughts, and I would like also to give the opportunity to our friends over here, and we will be in touch today, the whole day. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the next speaker is Dr. Fahim from Qatar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Krishnamurti, Gurendra Singh, and the distinguished members of the panel. First of all, a correction. I am Dr. Fahim, and I'm from United States, not from Qatar. So let me start with that thing. But thank you. I'm glad to be here. And those of whom know me know that I'm not going to slip up an opportunity to speak. And I thought that this is an excellent platform for me to make my thoughts be known. First of all, I want to start by congratulating Mr. Gurendra Singh and his brother and the family for an excellent get-together. Obviously, he is to be commended for his efforts, and hopefully we will be able to continue helping him with this effort in the future. So thank you very much, Mr. Singh. I really appreciate that. And the other thing he has done is that gotten very distinguished people together who can guide us along with regards to what to expect and what to do. One of the things that was mentioned over and over again by several of the speakers yesterday and also today is that we are ambassadors of this country, the great nation of which we feel very proud of. We, as ambassadors, have been able to succeed all over the world, and that's what, we are being recognized for. But more than that, I think it is very important for us to carry the pride and really make our mark be known all over the world, which each of us are doing. I personally was with the governor of this great state of West Virginia, where I am currently living for the past 30 years, and he has personally sent his regards and best wishes to you, Mr. Gurendra Singh, when he came to know that I am coming here. For myself, I am originally from Hyderabad, India, and have been out of the country since around 1972. First 4 years in England, and then I went to the United States and have been there since that time. Some of the things that I have been able to do, I have been very proud of. And the reason why I feel it is important for me to mention is because I was able to achieve those things because of my roots and what India has done for me. My father was a freedom fighter. He was in the first legislative assembly with Mr. Biram Krishna Rao, Chief Minister, and then he was re-elected, and he was a very strong Gandhian. After his death, and one of the things that Mr. Krishnamurti has mentioned is, of course, everybody's mother is extremely important to all of us. My mother, after my father's death, and he belonged to one of those honest era of politicians, where he was in active politics and also was the first chairman of the Land Commission. But like several honest politicians, he did not have too much to leave, and he did not get a lot of wealth. So my mother, who was basically illiterate, went out to work to put us through school, and went to medical school, etc. So the reason I'm mentioning is because that's what we Indians are. That's where we come from. That's why we love this country. And that is why we feel so proud and are able to succeed wherever we are. I was the first president of the West Virginia State Medical Association ever, and even to this day, I haven't been followed by any American, Asian American or Indian American to be the first. I also led several other organizations. I was the chairman of the complaints committee on the West Virginia Board of Medicine that licenses most of the physicians. And what is important here is, again, the reason I'm mentioning is that it is important for us to be involved in all those things, including politics. I don't think that there is any politician from the state of West Virginia or surrounding who would not know me because of my activities. And so I think, whenever they come to know that I'm doing something, they would like to know what my next plan is and so on and so forth. I was also, for those physicians who are here, one of the things that I was able to achieve and was honored for is that I was able to get the most prominent or most effective malpractice coverage or malpractice reform in the state of West Virginia, which is one of the two states, including California, where West Virginia has the best malpractice coverage for the physicians. And the liability issue was the one that had happened in my presidency. So I think the reason why we succeed is because what India has given to us. I'll give you just 2 minutes, and I know we're short of time. But one of the things where this unfortunate incident, and I wrote in my email to Mr. Gurendra saying, when this unfortunate incident happened in Bombay, there were some of our friends who were from the neighboring country, who would, in private discussions, very surprised as to why we would stand up and feel so bad and so talk so highly about our country, India. They thought that just because I am a Muslim, or just because we are a Muslim, we should identify with them. And when we went into those discussions, they just were surprised as to how you can take this position when all these things are happening to you. And I said, look here, when you're talking about discrimination, you don't know what discrimination is because you haven't witnessed the discrimination with regards to other countries. I was in England for about 4 years, and Mr. Gohar Nawab is there. And there's no question, when I was there was total discrimination. One of the reasons why I went to America was I had all the qualifications in the world, but they told me very clearly, Mr. Nawab, that because I was not a Britisher, they would not let me become a consultant. This is true. I know that I have several of my friends up there who have succeeded very well, and that's a great country. And that is history. That is, thanks to people like Mr. Gohar Nawab and others who have made their marks and who have fought, including several of my friends, who were able to succeed. And the same thing we are trying to do in America. And America, I have to say, and I'm wearing this flags here and very proud of it, both American and Indian flag, because that's what I am now. I am as much an American as I am an Indian. I can never forget my roots. I can never, thank enough and, ever pay my obligations and my debt to this great country, India. And so, America now is my country. And equally has contributed to my success. I have 2 daughters there. One of my daughters works for the government. She is one of the main aides for the governor of West Virginia. Both of my son-in-laws are physicians. They are of Indian descent. And one of the things that I would suggest to Mr. Gurendra Singh is that we have to go forward. We are the past, but right now and future are our youngsters. And we need to use this opportunity of people of Indian origin we need to start getting the youngsters into our, organization. We need to, understand their problems, because there are some unique problems that I know that ABI and other medical organizations and so on and so forth are working with them. But, our children are there. They would love to come in. I see several of the children are here with their parents to see their parents being honored. And I think, one of the things we need to do is open this up for youngsters, see what their problems are, what we can do. Like I am a professor at the university. I'm sure there are a lot of you who are very distinguished and very, very important in the areas that you work in. We can help them, not only in medicine, but IT, business, whatever it is. If I have a son who wants to go into hoteling business, I would certainly refer him to Governor Nawab or get him to be introduced. Same also Mr. Batra, businessman, others. So I think we need to go forward. We are very thankful for where we are. I'm very proud to be an Indian. We'll die an Indian at heart. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you very much. I would like to invite Mr. Sitaraman from Qatar. I think I am right in the country.
Distinguished guests, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, Qatar was rightly spelled in the forefront simply because it's a country with a unique mission, an extraordinary execution to professional perfection in terms of economic progression, social progression, as well as political progression. Being a banker, I thought I could add value, realizing the changing face of the world, changing face of the financial service, how it's an opportunity for India to realign, redefine, to make sure we get the best value out of it. Again, if it is not a self-regulation, I still am an Indian carrying an Indian passport, living abroad for the last 23 years. We should be proud of our history, culture, civilization, and heritage. We are proud to be Indian as ever. Conceptually, an Indian running a foreign financial institution is something which is very ironic. It's like State Bank of India is being managed by Germany. So I thank the Qatari authorities for recognizing the Indian financing professionals. Conceptually, the purpose of the presentation is to put it across with the changing face of the world. Globalization, deregulation, technology and consumerism redefining the world. There's a new world order emerging. There is also clear transformation of changing market preferences. There are extraordinary issues relating to the energy security. Convergence of economics and environment, what do you call economics, is clearly redefining the world order. India, in its own wisdom as civilization in true liberalization, conceptually brought in a lot of values, hidden values. Intrinsic nation as a whole is getting recognized wherever you go, whichever the profession you belong to, being recognized because you are Indian. You are known for its hard work, commitment. The conceptual realignment I'm talking about needs to evolve between the Gulf states and India, where 45% of the world oil, 20-25% of the world gas is emanating. It's $1 trillion economy, as well as India, with 38 million population living in the Gulf. Today, it's an extraordinary spree of economic progress. Look at Merrill Lynch was rescued by Abu Dhabi investment authorities and Kuwait investment authorities. Citi Group was funded by 7.5 billion. In spite of proximity, in spite of human capital investments, we haven't leveraged the huge sovereign funds the Gulf states has to offer. A huge economic progression is not only instrumental in realizing the realignment required by India as a welfare state. Conceptually, it's just 3-4 hours. Look at the intellectual capital we have invested there. It is not only the trade, it is not only the investments, it is not only the banking, it's not only the finance. Overall, synergistic vision is not really with the rest of the world, it is the Gulf states. The financial economies today are exotic in real. India is a real economy. India has to realize it is the non-resident Indians who have been sitting across the Gulf who have still carried the Indian aspect back home. There is no option for them than to come in here and restore their professional pride and personal belonging. And they are being respected across the Gulf simply because of their contribution to the economic development of these nations. Is not only they earn foreign exchange there, they have not relinquished in real response anything in India. This culture remains, the confinement in social response remains, the progression which is visible to us for India is real if we redefine ourselves with the Gulf states, which is every single form is a synergistic opportunity. There are enormous statistics I can put across as a banker, as a finance man. Conceptually, the trade, if you look at it, between the GCC and India is negligible. It's insignificant. If I say $1 trillion economy is the Gulf states, hardly less than 46 billion is the total bilateral trade, import and exports put together. Since Qatar is a country where I come from, if you look at it, 10 years before Qatar went to international market and borrowed funds, they haven't realized they have a huge conserved reserves today. It's not only running in the last 8 successive years, surplus budget, fiscal surplus, current account surplus, investment surplus. They have huge check of, the revenue reserves for investment purpose. That needs to be aligned. That needs to be procured for betterment of common man, common Indian, who can benefit from the value advantage. Of course, India is importing 7.5 million metric tons from Qatar. That's tip of the iceberg. There are extraordinary opportunities for us to redefine ourselves, realign ourselves. Conceptually, if you look at objectively the concept of economics which we talked about, where 19% of the land is left out, rest of all deforestation is taken over, where 70% of the surface water is contaminated, we have total redefinements we require into our own financial structure, financial formats. There are a lot of redefinition in terms of overall alignment required in terms of fundamental finance. We have procured today foreign exchange reserves of over 300 billion. Redefining these structures towards long-term renewable energies and conceptually putting this for the infrastructure creation is a need. You're all non-resident Indians. World over we are living. We know the standards we have. While we have inherited great civilization and culture, we also need to make sure we have to bring in the infrastructure. We need to make sure the long-term sustainability is more meaning. India, in its own wisdom today, is coasting along in spite of the global financial crisis over identity for an individual today. Leave alone the passport that you carry because it's a travel document which you have to necessarily carry. Bring in the biometric techniques so every individual is identified. Otherwise, anyone can cross over and say an Egyptian or a Lebanese can say he's an Indian. There is no identification today. These are fundamental infrastructure weakness. We can articulate solutions for this being non-resident Indians. We need strong redefinitions in terms of fundamental finance. The list goes on in terms of, when I look at the Satyam, the governors, whom we know for ethical and moral values today, Satyam is a classic example of corporate crime. Moral turpitude is completely compromised. Corporate governance is completely compromised. While global governance and global transparency is being questioned in Lehman Brothers and Leverage, today Satyam is a default for the integrity of the Indian corporates. How do we fix it? We fix it because we need to bring in integrated measurements. We don't need multiple regulators hanging around. We need integrated regulators in every single form, whether it's a stock market, or currency market, or commodity market, or bond market. You need to bring in integration in terms of financial framework and supervisory framework, which can add a long-term value. The list goes on. Since the time is limited, I take this opportunity to thank for the invitations. I compliment we being Indians. We are proud to be Indians. We are proud of our civilization. We are proud of culture. We are proud. We are born as Indian in this planet. We will continue to be Indian in this humanhood. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
I must thank Mr. Sitaraman for mentioning what Indians have been contributing in the Gulf countries. We in Delhi meet often ambassadors of Gulf countries. in the conversations they openly admit. We are indebted to the contribution of Indians to the growth of Gulf countries, development, economy and prosperity. So we have to compliment all the Indians in the Gulf countries who are bringing credit to this great nation. Well, the next speaker may I invite Dr. Madhu Singh, United States.
Professional speaker, what I am going to talk to you some truth which a scientist always try to reveal. Two parts. Since 1950, I moved to United States. Question comes, why did I move to United States? Or not only me, a lot of my colleagues from here, why anyone moved from India to United States, Germany, Canada, UK, wherever they are today? Only fundamental questions. There was something missing here, or something was not here we wanted to achieve into our selected country, our chosen country. And that very simple thing is freedom of equality, freedom of religion, and freedom of opportunity. Overall, the freedom of opportunity which takes all of us to our chosen countries. Kalpana Chawla, I heard a story. Many of distinguished professional scientists, they moved all here for freedom of opportunities. What they wanted to achieve, which they could not achieve here. I worked for Bell Laboratories for 30 years, and though you have not heard Bell Laboratories, they are the ones who made the telephone companies, telephones, communications, electronics. We here today. There were 7 Nobel Prize laureates. There are 80% people working in Bell Laboratories and PhDs, including me. And I'm surprised to say that 50% of those PhDs are all Indians. Why they are not coming back? Question for you. Also, I heard actually, which is very true, that an Indian leaves India, but Indian never leaves India. Which may be true for me. But how about my children? And their children? They are not India. They may be United States citizens, they may be Canadian, they may be British, they may be Qatar citizens, whoever they are. How really we can bridge the gap and bring them into our picture? And that's where actually my second thought would be, when we were talking yesterday, global partnership. I still believe in a lot of our colleagues and partners, the friends, they say that NRI, we are the true ambassadors of India, and I still believe in that. And also, when we are saying generate global partnership, as a scientist, as a businessman, all of you know that partnership cannot exist with only one side. There must be win-win situation. Then the partnership remains. To have a consistent partnership, both parties must win. So in this case, what we call back in the United States, government Inc., India, which is what we call the government of India, and the NRI, we are here, how really we can benefit each other. At least I can speak from the United States. We need India as much as India needs us to get it to be a superpower. Whatever I heard was 2020. You cannot become superpower by just saying I will be superpower. Everybody will be superpower just by